the discarnate path of the fully enlightened for 2,000 years. That whatever happens with Christianity, the introduction of the concepts of forgiveness and love, and if you really think about it, Jesus gives 3 commandments. He says, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, and all thy soul. Thou shalt do unto others as you want done unto you, and you'll love everybody like I love you. And they're like, well, we don't have to love the Romans, or the Samaritans are stinky too. We don't like them. No, everybody. That's everybody. Yeah, that's everybody. And that's why he sends all the apostles out and all that. So this philosophy then leads to breaking the chains of karma. Because you have Buddha down here. You've got Moses here. You've got Buddha about here. Actually, you've got Buddha, Lao Tzu, and Confucius all about 600 BC or so. And then you've got Jesus here, which then leads to the discarnate path of the fully enlightened. And let me just explain the stuff that's going on right now. This is the descension of the pit, down into the pit. This is the pit here. And as you come down this tunnel, you're outside the pyramid and you're a mighty, powerful being. Then suddenly you come into birth, which is why you scream your head off when you're a kid. You're like, no, what have I done? This is horrible. And then you come down and you're sort of misshapen, and you're kind of, you're like the hunchback coming down this tunnel, and and then at the very last part, from about 1500 to the 20th century, you have to crawl on your hands and knees all the way down this final part here, right? Which means the descension stops right here at the Renaissance. Obviously, in 1521, interestingly enough, is Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Nostradamus, the Black Plague, which actually then kind of fuels the Renaissance because it separates people. And by the way, if you get a chance to see it, one of the best shows on TV right now that's really fascinating, that's the best written thing I've ever seen, is Da Vinci's Demons. If you get a chance to see Da Vinci's Demons on Starz. If you can't get it on Starz, you guys need to get the DVD or a CD or whatever the Blu-ray is now, or order it somehow. It's one of the greatest shows on television, and it takes all of this mysticism and the actual inventions of Da Vinci. If we'd kept all these inventions and developed them, we probably could have put a man on the moon in the 1800s, if you get an idea. But of course, the Vatican comes in and they take all his inventions away, and it's very cool. So right here at the beginning of the 20th century, you can stand up in the pit. Now you stand up thinking, wow, this is great. Now what happens around 1900, 1905? You have Nikola Tesla, you have Albert Edison, you have Henry Ford, you have all these burdens of mankind. You have the illumination of the world, because Tesla creates alternating current generators, Thomas Edison creates light bulbs, Henry Ford is inventing internal combustion engines and cars and the whole thing. So here's mankind being all kind of fat and happy. So here we get to about 2004, December specifically of 2004, to the lip of the pit here. I'll show you this at the edge. The lip of the pit, where we're now given a warning. And the warning is you've got about 4 years to get ready for all the stuff that's about ready to happen. And the lip of the pit, if you're the initiate, it's pitch dark. And if you just walk forward, you fall into the 60-foot hole and you die. If you know enough about it, you feel the edge of the pit, and the righteous man, because this is like Indiana Jones, always goes towards the right and up and into the open space, which means you're moving towards the crater and ascending. So you go around the pit this way, you turn this way, go all the way around the pit, and you think, oh, that's easy. You get to 2012, right? And you think, oh, that was easy, nothing happened. In 2012, the Mayans were all wrong. Well, guess what? Sometime from right here, from the beginning of 2013 to about 2017 or so, actually this is called the River of Fire. And the pit is down here. This river of fire, which has these vertebrae-like carbuncles on it here, this rift, we're trying to figure out what happens here. Whether or not it's a cosmic event, it's a solar event, but we're waiting on this to happen now. And this is my theory. My theory is that the Mayan calendar, this phase of the Mayan calendar, which began in about 3116 BC, which is within 150 years of when the Hebrews say, the Israelites say that the earth was created. It's also the beginning of the Hindu Kali Yuga. It's also, interestingly enough, we now learn from Harvard and Yale that there was a massive glaciation that happened almost overnight that froze, all the woolly mammoths that are all frozen? That happened. In order to freeze a woolly mammoth like that with tropical vegetation in his mouth, you would have to literally drop it into a pool of nitrogen. So whatever happened, this glaciation of a bunch of the planet that have now resulted in the Peruvian glacial fields and the woolly mammoths of Siberia happened not within years or weeks, but within days. Matter of fact, we found a very famous in Austria. We found the Austrian Iceman that was all over the cover of Popular Science and all that, because it was a guy that was literally